cheroot pipe between his lips. In a similar chair, and equally at his ease, there lounged on the other side of the fireplace his old school friend, Jeffro Hasty. Both men were in flannels, for they had spent their evening upon the river. But apart from their dress, no one could look at their hard-cut, alert faces without seeing that they were open-air men, men whose minds and tastes turned naturally to all that was manly and robust. Hasty, indeed, was stroke of his college boat, and Smith was an even better oar. But a coming examination had already cast its shadow over him, and held him to his work, save for the few hours a week which health demanded. A litter of medical books upon the table, with scattered bones, models and anatomical plates, pointed to the extent as well as the nature of his studies, while a couple of single sticks and a set of boxing gloves above the mantelpiece hinted at the means by which, with Hasty's help, he might take his exercise in the most compressed and least distant form. They knew each other very well, so well that they could sit now in that soothing silence which is the very highest development of companionship. "Have some whiskey," said Abercrombie Smith at last between two cloudbursts. "Scotch in the jug and Irish in the bottle." "No, thanks. I'm in for the sculls. I don't liquor when I'm training. How about you?" "I'm reading hard. I think it best to leave it alone." Hasty nodded, and they relapsed into a contented silence. "By the way, Smith," asked Hasty presently, "have you made the acquaintance of either of the fellows on your stair yet? Just a nod when we pass, nothing more." I should be inclined to let it stand at that. I know something of them both. Not much, but as much as I want. I don't think I should take them to my bosom if I were you. Not that there's much amiss with Monkhouse Lee." "Meaning the thin one?" "Precisely. He's a gentlemanly little fellow. I don't think there's any vice in him. But then you can't know him without knowing Bellingham." "Meaning the fat one?" "Yes, the fat one. And he's a man whom I, for one, would rather not know." Abercrombie Smith raised his eyebrows and glanced across at his companion. "What's up, then?" he asked. "Drink? Cards? Cad? You used not to be censorious." "Ah, you evidently don't know the man, or you wouldn't ask. There's something damnable about him, something reptilian. My gorge always rises at him. I should put him down as a man with secret vices, an evil liver. He's no fool, though. They say that he's one of the best men in his line that they have ever had in the college. Medicine or classics? Eastern languages. He's a demon at them. Chillingworth met him somewhere above the Second Cataract last long, and he told me that he just prattled to the Arabs as if he'd been born and nursed and weaned among them. He talked Coptic to the Copts, and Hebrew to the Jews, and Arab to the Bedouins, and they were all ready to kiss the hem of his frock-coat. There are some old hermit Johnnies up in those parts who sit on rocks and scowl and spit at the casual stranger. Well, when they saw this chap Bellingham, before he had said 5 words, they just lay down on their bellies and wriggled. Chillingworth said he never saw anything like it. Bellingham seemed to take it as his right, too, and strutted about among them, and talked down to them like a Dutch uncle. Pretty good for an undergrad of Olds, wasn't it? That sort of thing doesn't mean much in the East, though. It was just their way of saying that they were surprised and pleased to find a foreigner who knew something of their history and language. But how do you come to know this fellow?" "Well, I come from Applesford, you know, and so does young Monkhouse Lee. His father is vicar there, and he has a sister, Evelyn Lee, who is as nice a little girl as you would wish to see. When Lee began to be chummy with Bellingham, he asked him down to stay at the vicarage, and I saw something of him. The mischief of it is that he's managed in some way to get the better of little Evelyn, and she is engaged to him. What she can see in the fellow! But it's my belief that there are many women, and Evelyn Lee is among them, who is so unselfish and so gentle, and so